We'll begin our week with Psalm 24. I will read it for us. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and those who dwell therein. For he has founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the rivers. Who shall ascend the hill of the Lord, and who shall stand in his holy place? The one who has clean hands and a pure heart, who does not lift up their soul to what is false, and does not swear deceitfully. They will receive blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of their salvation. Such is the generation of those who seek him, who seek the face of the God of Jacob. Lift up your heads, O gates, and be lifted up, O ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O gates, and lift them up, O ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. This psalm divides neatly into three parts: an opening round of praise, then the ethical requirements of entering into worship or into the temple, and then a return to praise. The challenge is, how do they fit together into something of a unified whole? So the way we'll approach this is, first of all, to take a look at the ancient worldview, and secondly, explore these ethical requirements of worship, and then claim that these requirements are so strict that they are impossible for us to meet in our normal human courses of life, but that they are met for us in Jesus Christ. The ancient worldview is based on the idea that God brings order to chaos. This is something that you'll find throughout the entire ancient Middle East, and particularly you find it in Genesis, in the creation story. The word for the deep, for the waters of chaos, has the same root as the word for Tiamat, the goddess of chaos. And it is very clear to Israel as they read this that their God is the one who overcomes all gods and brings order to this world, who founds it upon the seas, who brings the waters of the deep to calmness, who then establishes the earth in a very orderly fashion upon it, and brings Israel, first of all in the form of Adam and Eve, into the Garden of Eden, which is its own protected temple, with an outside border and the center where the tree of life resides. The temple is modeled on this. There is an outer wall, there is an inner place of worship and sacrifice, and there is at the very center the Holy of Holies. All of Israel can enter into the outer court. Fewer can enter into the inner court, and only once a year can enter into the sanctuary and into the presence of God. This is the picture drawn here as these people hear this for the very first time. And the question is, who are those who can enter into worship with God? There are, our psalmist tells us, ethical requirements, this idea of having clean hands and a pure heart, of living a life of integrity. And notice that the requirements are ethical. They're not ritual. Clean hands is more than washing. It's having committed no evil or unrighteous acts through them. So for these people, entry into the temple requires an ethical life. As we know, through our perception of ourselves and our watching culture around us, none of us live a purely ethical life. St. Paul, or Apostle Paul, if you like better, makes the claim, there is none righteous, no, not one. So this would seem to exclude me from the presence of God. And this is true for every person on the planet, sadly. But there is one who was righteous, just one. And this righteous one is Jesus Christ. And in our faith, in his birth and life and death for our sins, his resurrection for our righteousness, in our faith, we receive the righteousness of Jesus Christ. It is this righteousness that allows us to come not just to the outer court or the inner court, but into the very presence of God. This is how we as Christians come to worship. We gather together, whether by YouTube or by Zoom or by assembly in the future. We come together in the presence of God because we can gather as righteous people before the Lord God, who brought order to chaos and founded our earth and universe upon the seas. Grace, God's grace to us, initiates a great search, that in searching we find, and in finding we become righteous. We are righteous by faith, or in the great cry of the Reformers, Sola fide, by faith alone. And how else can we respond to this great gift but by returning, as the psalm does, to praise for the wonder and glory of our salvation? And now, let us pray. Eternal God, our beginning and our end, be our starting point and our haven, and accompany us on this day's journey. Use our hands to do the work of your creation, and use our lives to bring others the new life you give this world in Jesus Christ, Redeemer of all. Amen.